Hello viewers, my name is Chase Clover, and this is my review on the June 25th, 2014 edition of USW Wednesday Night Intensity. This Sunday is USW Hardcore Heaven 2014, and that is the one night where, quote, USW becomes hardcore destruction. And, honestly, I love USW Hardcore Heaven. It kind of brings a purpose to hardcore wrestling, and it's great to have at least one night where there are no rules. The only way to victory is pretty much by how the match stipulation applies. So if it's a last man standing, you have to make your opponent unable to stand for the count of 10. If it is a submission match, you have to make your opponent submit. If it is a tables match, you gotta put them through a table. If it's a ladders match, you gotta climb a ladder and retrieve something. And everything is legal. You can use weapons, you can break the rules, you can throw them off the building, you can throw them off the ladder, you can break their bones. It's an absolute hardcore massacre when USW Hardcore Heaven 2014 arrives this Sunday, and you can just tell. But anyways, let's start off with the review for the June 25th, 2014 edition of USW Wednesday Night Intensity. This is the 76th USW Wednesday Night Intensity, and I believe it was very well thought out, and I believe it was one of the kind of intensities that really bring purpose to the pay-per-view that's around the corner. So we start off with the intro, and then the announcers are talking, and Zach Hardy arrives at Intensity looking for Enigma. And we'll get down to the Enigma portion later in the video. But anyways, afterwards was the first match on the night, and it was a Bulletproof Series match. Philip Akron defeated Dwayne Porter by countout. Philip Akron earned 5 points, and I believe he is now at 29 points in total, ahead of Dwayne Porter. So Dwayne Porter is now in last place in trouble of being eliminated. So we're gonna have to see what he can do at Hardcore Heaven. It is pretty much his last chance. So either he would have to be if he were to lose, then Philip Akron would have to lose by disqualification. If he were to win, then he'd have to make sure that Philip Akron wouldn't win. So the only way that he would stay in the Bulletproof Series if he were to lose would be if Philip Akron got disqualified. Excuse me. Afterwards, and the match was pretty good. They pretty much, I believe Philip Akron did something similar to what Gringo did last week, which was get one move down on Dwayne Porter to the point where he could not get back in the ring. But anyways, even with that kind of ending, it was a good match. It did have some points in the match where you kind of enjoyed it, and in total, I believe that kind of match deserves some kind of credit going into a match that both Dwayne Porter and Philip Akron will have at Hardcore Heaven 2014 this Sunday. Afterwards, Majigata was seen polishing off the new International Championship belt. James then challenged, James is challenged by Chain Reaction and Ash at the same time for a match at the Blue Belt Championship this Sunday. So, the match is going to be a ladders match, and it will be a 3-way ladders match for the Blue Belt Championship this Sunday. It'll be James versus Chain Reaction versus Ash, and I expect it to be a good match, and I also expect the Majigata versus Western Light match to be very good as well. That will be for the International Championship, and that'll be a Metal Chain Hangman's match, so just imagine what those two will do to each other and end up putting each other on a chain noose. That'll just be, gruesome. But, anyways, afterwards is the second match of the night, and it was this Bulletproof Series match. Greyhound defeated Prophecy by pinfall. Prophecy had a lot of good points in the match. Greyhound had a lot of good points in the match. Excuse me. I believe that this match was very well thought out. I I am hoping that Greyhound would face. I was hoping that Greyhound would face Dwayne Porter in the in a match at Hardcore Heaven, but that is not the case. I'll have to go back and see who they are facing. But I do know that that Greyhound and Dwayne Porter will not face each other, so I guess that rivalry to the USW, the rivalry was not going anywhere. Even though I felt like it was a good rivalry and they had potential, I guess they didn't, really think it out as much. And I'm not sure if Prophecy and Greyhound are facing each other, but I do know that both of them will be in a match at Hardcore Heaven, and I'm looking forward to the match. So again, Greyhound defeated Prophecy by pinfall, earning 7 more points, and I believe Greyhound is now in 3rd place, 4th place maybe. I know that Cannon went down a spot. I know that Rush is in 1st place, and I know that Philip Akron went up and Dwayne Porter's in last. I know those. So that's not really surprising to me. Anyways, afterwards, Zach Hardy found the USW Championship on the wall, with the words written on the wall saying, "Watch your back at Hardcore Heaven." So Zach Hardy turns around, and Enigma's there. So that kind of cancels out my prediction that Zach Hardy was Enigma, because he fought Enigma there. So that kind of narrows down my list, and I think that's what USW is trying to do before Hardcore Heaven 2014. So it will be exciting to find out who Enigma is. But now we know Zach Hardy is not Enigma, because he did fight him off earlier in the night, and Zach Hardy was the one who started beating down Enigma. Zach Hardy also got a chair and started hitting down Enigma, much to what Enigma did, or I guess he did last week. So that was exciting, and I'm hoping we see Zach Hardy versus Enigma rivalry soon, because that will be a very good rivalry to see. Anyways, so pretty much, Zach Hardy will watch his back at Hardcore Heaven, and also will watch his back in the night. So it was exciting to find out that Zach Hardy was not Enigma, but was also challenging to me, because I'm still looking down my list to see who Enigma is. I'm still trying to narrow it down, but I can't figure it out. I just can't. I mean, you would think it would be easier, because, just by the appearance of the performers, it's not easy. It's not easy. And, it's hard for me to find out who exactly Enigma is, but, if Enigma were not Zach Hardy, then I'd be surprised. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, because he fought him tonight, so looks like Zach Hardy's narrowed out, so I have very few people left on my list. So, anyways, going into the 3rd match, the Bulletproof Series match, Gringo beat Cannon by countout. Gringo did what he did to Dwayne Porter last week, which was throwing him against, I believe, doing one move and then getting in the ring, as Cannon could not make it back into the ring by countout. So, Gringo earns 5 more points, stays farther away from elimination, so we could expect to see him in a little while. Excuse me. Afterwards, Switchblade challenged Blade to a barbed wire death match at USW Hardcore Heaven 2014, as Switchblade accepted and then beat down on Switchblade. Excuse me. Blade got a chair and started whacking down Switchblade, which kind of makes me wonder if Blade is Enigma. Because if you think about it, there's a chair, and there's Blade, and Enigma, and a chair. And it's kind of bringing me to some suspicion, and hopefully when I do the USW Hardcore in 2014 preview and prediction video, I will think about who Enigma is, and I will narrow it down to who I think Enigma is, my number 1 suspect. But anyways, Blade knocked down Switchblade, and so look forward to this match at USW Hardcore in 2014. Barbed wire death match. It will be hopefully very good, so hopefully I'll get my money's worth. Afterwards was the 4th match, and it was a Bulletproof Series match. Rush beat DHIG by pinfall, earning Rush 7 more points, putting him farther in 1st place with 66 points over DHIG, who has 57 points. So, very exciting match. I liked the match. a lot of high flying, much like we saw last week. They had a lot of points in the match where there was, excuse me, they had a lot of points in the match where there was a lot of counters, and a lot of points in the match where there were like, I'm going to do this move, no, he countered, no, then he countered, then he countered, then he countered. So it went back and forth in the match, and I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the fact that it was kind of a back and forth match, and I am hoping that these two face off in a match at USW Hardcore in 2014. It's a possibility that DHIG would win just because he's lost the past 2 weeks, so, but, I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to see, Rush winning 3 times in a row, but if he did, then, I wouldn't call it bull, but I would kind of, I would start respecting him a lot more than I do, anyway, hold on. Okay, anyways, afterwards was a scene, and it was Enigma attacking Capital with a chain. Man, I don't know what to say about this match. About this. I think it was mostly because, like, I don't know what to say. I think it was because he got attacked by Zach Hardy, so he wanted somebody to take it out on, which I wouldn't be surprised if it were the case, because, think about it. You have these two performers, and these two performers, and I'm talking about Enigma and Capital. These two performers are kind of at the top of the game, because, Capital at the top of his game, being the USW World Heavyweight Champion, and Enigma being kind of like someone who wants to get in that championship picture. Either that or just wants destruction, which I'm kind of feeling is what Enigma is actually after, which is destruction. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he weren't the champion anymore, because if you're going after destruction, then you're pretty much not really in the mix as a champion. You're pretty much just going after destruction. And it's not hard to believe that would happen. If you were, imagine, I'm sorry, hold on. I'm doing this, thing. Alright, but imagine if Enigma were to be the champion, then him being the champion and also going after destruction would not be the kind of champion you would want, because then he would intentionally get himself disqualified, and you would have the champion be him for a long time, because he's intentionally getting himself disqualified and not losing the championship, because you can't lose it by disqualification. So that would kind of be the downfall of him being the champion. So I would not make him the champion, whoever he turns out to be. And I'm thinking that whoever Enigma turns out to be will start being Enigma, and they will not be like let's say Greyhound were Enigma, or let's say Capital was Enigma. Then I don't think he would be Capital anymore. I think he would wrestle as Enigma. That's who I think would, that's what I think would happen, because Enigma's only been here for a few months now, or the character Enigma has only been here for a few months now. Excuse me. And if you were to have the guy become, reveal himself as Enigma, I don't think you would have Enigma just go away and just keep his name. I think he would be Enigma. So, and that's my prediction, and I'll go and get into that more when I go into the USW Hardcore Event 2014 preview and prediction video. But anyways, afterwards was the 5th match of the night, and it was Fernandez beating Weston Light, and I know that I think it was Fernandez who started beating down on Western Light and attacking Western Light, and then Marshagetta came out, and it was after the match. Marshagetta came out and started beating down Fernandez, and so did Western Light, and so it ended up being Marshagetta and Western Light standing tall at the beginning of at the entrance ramp, and I think that kind of turns them into a team. If, like, excuse me, I mean, with them facing for the International Championship at the pay-per-view, excuse me, I think that may be a one-time deal with Marshagetta versus Western Light, because if you have them as a team, then you can add 2 more people, and Fernandez and Gringo are a team as well, so you can have maybe the International Championship become a tag team championship. Now, I know it's a territory championship because they needed another championship to complete their Triple Crown, or their Grand Slam, because they used to have the Glory Belt Championship, but they defunct that championship. So I think they use this International Championship as a territory championship to regain the Grand Slam. I think it's Cannon and Marshagetta who are the closest to getting the Grand Slam. Excuse me. But with Marshagetta and Western Light facing for the championship, then you have, if Western Light were to win, you have, let's see, you have Cannon and Marshagetta as, like, the top contenders for the Grand Slam. You have Western Light coming back with the Territory Championship being the only other one to hold the Territory Championship, making him in good position for the Grand Slam. So, maybe if you were to turn the International Championship into a Tag Team Championship, it wouldn't be too bad. You can have think about it, the International Tag Team Championships. Excuse me. I mean, the name International Championship kind of makes you think that championship should be defended internationally. Even though that's not the case, it still doesn't have as much of a vibe as, like, Glory Belt Championship or as Blue Belt Championship. Excuse me. Maybe make, like, an American Championship. Call it the American Championship, something like that. Go in that direction. Change the championship name. I mean, it wouldn't be too much of hard work. I mean, Marshagetta was the one who bought the championship belt and then had it officially made a winnable championship, just like Zach Hardy made the Extreme Championship an official winnable championship in Whacked Out Wrestling. I think you can do something with that championship and make it turn into a bunch of different names, like TNA did with the Legends Championship. They added the Legends Championship, the Television Championship, and the I forgot the other name, the International Championship. I think that's what they called it as well. But I think you can do something with it, with the championship, that makes it more exciting for, to be in part of a rivalry, because with Crimson Red and MC4, you have the Extreme Championship in between them, but the Extreme Championship isn't really doing too much. So if you were to have a championship that changes names often and kind of has, like, a stipulation involved with it, then I think that could be a championship that can continue a rivalry better than the Extreme Championship. But anyways, afterwards, Enigma attacked Kyle Reese at commentary with a chain. And afterwards, Marcus Felton, who is the Intensity and pay-per-view color commentator, ended up attacking Enigma and throwing him backstage as Enigma ran off. And Marcus Felton helped Kyle Reese to the trainers. And then Marcus Felton was the commentator through the rest of the night. So, So it wasn't a bad segment. It actually kind of proved that Marcus Felton was kind of good at wrestling, so that surprised me. And another portion about the fact that Enigma attacked Kyle Reese is now it may be whoever reveals themselves as Enigma maybe could have a rivalry with the Reese family, because you have Kyle Reese Jr., you have Kyle Reese Sr., who is also known as High Risk. You have Killer Queen or something, who I believe is Kyle Reese's sister, cousin, something, nephew, maybe, I don't know. And then I think you could have also the other members of the Reese family kind of starting a rivalry in USW with Enigma. That would be pretty cool, and that would be exciting to me. And maybe even have Enigma turn face and have the Reese family turn heel, kind of make it switch. So that'd be pretty cool. But then also turning the Reese family heel, I don't know what that would do for you and your color commentary. I think you would have to have Kyle Reese, get off of color commentary. But whatever way USW decides to work it, I think that it would be entertaining to have like a Reese family rivalry, especially with Enigma, because even though you have the Reese family outnumbering Enigma, you still have Enigma and his crazy antics. So that would be entertaining, and I would really, really like to see that. So, afterwards was the sixth match, and it was Chris Ross defeating Amor, and it was an okay match. It wasn't really the best match on the card, but it was a match, and it was okay, I guess. It was the kind of match that made you go, that's cool, sweet. Oh, he won. Alright, cool. And also, kind of Chris Ross and Amor. Chris Ross was kind of expected to be Amor, because Amor didn't really do much before the Bulletproof Series. Didn't do much in the Bulletproof Series. Isn't doing much now outside the Bulletproof Series. And these two competitors are the two competitors that were in the Bulletproof Series, and the first two to be eliminated. So, excuse me. Whatever they decide to go with that, I guess I'll be on board. Afterwards, Amor challenged Chris Ross to a weapons match at USW Hardcore Heaven. They misspell weapons match because I think it's supposed to stand for something. I don't know what it's supposed to stand for, but I do know that the weapons match was created by Zach Hardy back in Whacked Out Wrestling, and a weapons match is pretty much with weapons scattered throughout the ring and throughout the ring area, and you pretty much have chairs and tables and ladders and pipes and crowbars and kendo sticks and all those kind of weapons scattered throughout the ring, in the ring, outside of the ring. So you may have some in the corner, lying on the ring ground, lying across the ring side. But anyways, it's a good match, and there haven't been too many weapons matches. I believe this is the first one where Zach Hardy is not a part of the weapons match. I may be wrong, but I think this is the first time where there's a weapons match held without Zach Hardy. But anyways, I expect it to be good. I expect it to be the kind of match that is like a filler match. But I expect, considering it's USW Hardcore Heaven 2014, and they're all matches without disqualifications, I expect the matches to be good instead of bland like normal pay-per-views, because, there are rules, and so I expect there to be a lot of chaos that night, which is something that a lot of wrestling fans like. Take the ECW fans, for example. Excuse me. But anyways, the pay-per-view should have a lot of good matches, and even the filler matches should be very good, because they don't have rules, and so there's nothing really holding them back. So I expect there to be a lot of carnage as well. Afterwards was the seventh match, and it was Majigita beating Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf attempted to hit Majigita with a chair until Western Light came over with a lantern, hit the lantern, and then Majigita hit the decapitator on Lone Wolf. So that kind of strengthens my point of Majigita and Western Light becoming a tag team, and that would really be, exciting to me, and, make the International Championship a tag team championship, maybe even go back to a single championship later on, change the names, make the stipulations, do a lot of stuff with it. You can do a lot of things with the championship, and it would be very interesting. Afterwards was another scene, and it was the USW Hardcore Heaven 2014 match card preview. I will get into the match card after I talk about this main event. Was the 8th match on the night, and it was Yo-Yo Joe and Alex beating Zach Hardy and Capital in a tag team match. It was pretty much a challenger and challenger versus champion and champion tag team match, and it was interesting to me. I liked it, I enjoyed it, and I felt like it brought a lot of hype to the pay-per-view preview and prediction, the pay-per-view, and I believe the matches are going to be good. And afterwards, Zach Hardy and Yo-Yo Joe and also Capital and Alex started battling. They went up to the top of the Titantron. Zach Hardy knocked Yo-Yo Joe off and then did a Swanton Bomb. Then Alex knocked Capital off onto the entrance ramp, and then he did a swanton bomb, and it went to the point where everybody had to get stretched off, and Intensity this time went off at its usual hour. So, nonetheless, it was a good match. I liked the Intensity. It was pretty good, and it brought good hype. And I may talk more about this in the USW Hardcore Event 2014 pay-per-view preview and prediction video. But it seems like the main events, like the USW World Heavyweight Championship match and the USW Championship match, the ones that get the most hype going to the pay-per-view, I believe they have matches and scenarios where it strengthens those matches, and I think now that I realize that they're focusing more on the main event matches to hype up, because, even though those main event matches don't need as much hype as the ones that you need to use as a mid-card. So I expect there to be a few pay-per-view buys, and I think it will be entertaining to watch this pay-per-view. The Bulletproof Series leaderboards, first place is Rush with 66 points, second place is DHIG with 57 points, third place is Prophecy with 54 points, fourth place is Greyhound with 49 points, fifth place is Cannon with 47 points, sixth place is Gringo with 39 points, seventh place is Philip Akron with 29 points, and eighth place is Dwayne Porter with 25 points. I will go into the pay-per-view matches right now. I have them written down. The match card for USW Hardcore Event 2014. The kickoff match is a submission match, Dwayne Porter vs. Gringo. Second match is a breakaway match, Lane vs. Titanfall. Third match is a knockout match, Alexander Rotten vs. Tenacity. Fourth match is a weapons match, Amor vs. Chris Ross. Fifth match is a Falls Count Anywhere match, Philip Akron vs. Prophecy. Sixth match is a barbed wire death match, Switchblade vs. Blade. Seventh match is a street fight, Rush vs. DHIG. Eighth match is a no-holds-barred match, Cannon vs. Greyhound. Ninth match is a last man standing match, George Martin vs. Corner. 10th match is for the International Championship. It's a metal chain hangman's match, Marshall vs. Western Light. 11th match is an Extreme Championship match, tables match, Crimson Red vs. MC4. Blue Belt Championship, the 12th match for the Blue Belt Championship, three-way ladder match, James vs. Chain Reaction vs. Ash. 13th match is the USW World Heavyweight Championship match, tables match, Capital vs. Alex. And the USW Championship match, the ladders match, Zach Hardy vs. Yo-Yo Joe. Those matches should be very good, and I'm looking forward to them. Anyway, guys, that was my review on the June 25th, 2014 edition of USW Wednesday Night Intensity. Remember, guys, to like, favorite, and subscribe for more. I'm Chase Clover, signing off.